All right, here we are. Recap Roundtable, Week 2, 19.2. Let me try and get everyone's camera up. There we go. That's better. So some of the same folks from last week, some new folks this week. We have Sarah joining us from Seattle. We have Allie here, and we have Dustin Jones and Christina Previtt as well. So I've got Mitch here next to me. We received some feedback that we should be on the same microphone because double audio sounded like crap. So here we are. We bought this fancy microphone. So I sound like crap because I was screaming all Friday night. So hopefully my voice lasts for the next 20 minutes. But we'll talk about the workout, and then we'll introduce ourselves. So 19.2, Mitch, take it away. What was it?
Okay, so 19.2 was pretty much a recap of 16.2, and they only changed first round's time domain. So for those that weren't around in 2016 or don't know what that was, let's take it from the top. It was 25 toes to bar, 50 double unders, and then 15 squat cleans at 135.85. You clear that round, you move on. 25 toe to bar, 50 double unders, and then 13 squat cleans at 185, 115. Ladies, is that right? 115?
Yep.
You have 8 minutes to clear first round 1 and round 2. 8-minute time cap on that. If you're successful, you buy yourself round 3 plus 4 additional minutes, which is 25 toe to bar, 50 double unders, and 11 squat cleans at 225, 145, correct? Okay. If you're successful again, 4 more minutes on the clock, you buy yourself entrance into round 4. 25 toe to bar, 50 double unders, 9 squat cleans at 275, 175. That's nasty, and if you're a games level athlete and you already know that you bought yourself entrance into round 5, which is 25 toe to bar, 50 double unders, 7 squat cleans at 315, 205. Yikes. So a 20-minute time cap total for 90% of people. This was an 8-minute workout.
All right, there was. So let's Allie's got to run soon, so we'll let Allie introduce herself briefly. She wasn't here last week. And then, Allie, give us your thoughts on 19.2.
Hey guys, I'm Allie. I'm from North Carolina. So 19.2, it was interesting. It was horrible while I was doing it, for sure. And I did not make it out of the 8 minutes. I made it through, I think I was 4 squat cleans into 115. But so it was horrible while I was doing it, but I felt like I recovered much quicker than I did from 19.1. And I decided that it was because I was not fit enough for it to be really, really awful. So like I was gassed and I laid on the floor for like a minute, but then I got up and I was like, okay, I feel like I can do something else. Whereas 19.1, like I laid on the floor and my whole body hurt. I couldn't like move. So, for me, it was really fun. And for me, that workout was so fun to watch. Like I almost had more fun watching people do it than even doing it myself, because the energy, like the majority of people ended on those cleans, and it was no matter where you were at, like it was heavy for you by that point. So it was a lot of struggle. It was a lot of people's face. You could see they were like, it was maximum effort. And whether it was you were doing a scaled workout or whether you were doing RX, it was just maximum effort by that buzzer time. And so I was like, by the time I went, I was just so pumped up from watching everybody else that that for me, that was the most rewarding part for this workout. So it was a lot of fun. I'm going to do it again this morning.
Okay, cool. That was my next question. Cool. All right, over to you, Dustin. Dustin's not on webcam. He's on his phone. He's getting ready to ditch us yet again for CrossFit. So, Dustin, what are your thoughts on 19.2?
Let's see here. So to give background to folks, I've been doing CrossFit for a few months. So when I saw 19.2, I literally shit a brick and had no clue what to expect. And this is something I've never done before. Like we haven't had many workouts that were like this. So I had no clue what to expect. All of the movements are challenging for me, or I cannot do them. So I was just really intimidated. Now, we were all talking kind of Thursday night about, toes to bars and double unders and whatnot. And I've probably spent the next hour watching Zach Long and Pamela YouTube videos of trying to figure this stuff out, which is always a great strategy, right, for going into the open. So then Friday came, and it was I made it 6.5 minutes instead of 8. So it was an interesting situation to where I went in not being able to do, I wasn't able to do consecutive toes to bars. So bringing your toes up to the bar and kind of swing in fashion for people that haven't done them before. I was only able to do one, and it seemed like I had to take like a 10-meter sprint up to the bar to get the momentum to do it. And the coach did a little bit of cueing beforehand, and that kind of gave me the ability to string them together, and it felt awesome. And I was like, all right, these feel kind of easy, so I'm just going to go after it. It was great because I was literally just going to go for it. Like in my head, I was like, well, I'll just get as close to 25 as possible because I have no clue of pacing or any of that stuff. And then the really fit coach that was next to me stopped at 5. So I did my 6th one. I was like, oh shit, I need to get off this bar. I broke them up and got through 25 with 5 sets of 5. That was great. Dumbbell unders, I'll do like 15 or so in a row, and then it just falls apart. And I got to the cleans, and that was the first time that a clean actually felt kind of smooth. Like when I watch like Christina, when she posts her videos of her cleans, like just the whole movement is just as smooth as butter. And mine does not feel that way, but this kind of felt good. But then I got back to the toes to bars, and my terrible form gassed me out. So I guess I was using just a ton of hip flexors with that movement, and I could literally not even do one by the end of it. So I ended up getting like 13 toes to bars and spending like 90 seconds just staring up at that piece of steel, just completely defeated. I tied my shoes. Like, who ties their shoes in a CrossFit workout? Like, it was very humbling, but it was fun, and I learned a lot about myself and what I need to work on. So yeah, it was a cool experience. And watching it Friday Night Lights was pretty epic. We had to break out the earmuffs for our daughter because it was so freaking loud, but it was a lot of fun.
Cool, man. Are you going to redo it again today or just do regular class workout today?
Yeah, we just have class workout, and it's all snatches and overhead squats, which are my least favorite thing to do, so I probably should be doing that. So yeah, I'm just going to work on those movements that I love to hate.
Cool. Let's throw it over to Sarah out there in Seattle. Sarah wasn't here last week. Sarah, will you introduce yourself really briefly and then tell us your thoughts on 19.2?
Yep. So I'm Sarah Heron, and this was actually my 9th Open. So I've been CrossFitting since 2010. And my first Open was the 7 minutes of burpees. Otherwise, I don't think I would have done the Open. It's so intimidating if you're brand new, right? So I did this in 16, but interestingly, I had sprained my ankle about 4 days before the Open. I was racing the clock on box jumps and fell off my box and sprained my ankle, and it was like awful because I was finally feeling like I was like, the Open was my game. And so doing this workout, I did it on one foot and I did 25 toe to bar and I can't remember, but like 30 single leg double unders. So, and then that was the 4-minute mark, right? So that year that was 4 minutes. So this year I was super excited to do it because I love Olympic lifting and toe to bar is fine for me. However, this summer I broke my hand, so I've been struggling on the rig a little bit just with strength and like not so much my hand, but lat strength to push on that bar. So like Dustin's saying, you really need to figure out that rhythm and you really need to get that motor control from your upper extremities, not just your hip flexors, or you're going to be toast when you get back to that bar. And so I got through 7 of the cleans at 115 and was fine with that, but would have really loved to get into that next round. But that's just where I'm at this year. And so that's been my motto of like, that's what the Open is about. It's about figuring out where exactly you are this year. And I used to redo the Open workouts, and not one time ever have I done better. So for me, that's not a wise strategy. It seems that I go out with as much effort as I can, and then that's where I'm at. So I will not be reattempting. It won't probably go any better for me, which is fine.
Okay, cool. Let's
Yeah.
throw it down to Christina, who again is another new face this week. So Christina, will you introduce yourself and then tell us your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. So, hi guys. So I'm Christina. I'm kind of like Sarah. I've been in the CrossFit game for a while. My first CrossFit Open was in 2012. But owning a business and stuff, I'm not really an active CrossFitter anymore. I'm actually a weightlifter. So the CrossFit Open is 100% peer pressure on the side of the faculty getting me to do these workouts again. And then the other hiccup for me is that I'm actually 30 weeks pregnant as well. So I'm taking the retired CrossFitter, weightlifter, pregnant athlete perspective of the Open. Jeff was like, excuses. So I did a very revised version of this workout. It was really neat to see Cara Saunders do this workout. She's actually due within like 2 days of me, I think, actually. So she was very, very close to where I was. And it's interesting seeing kind of the way that pregnant athletes have kind of come up lately, because before it was like, don't exercise, you're going to lead to miscarriage or issues with the baby, which is just pure crap. And then now it's like a complete pendulum swing. And now it's like, I can do whatever I want. I'm pregnant, but I'm not disabled, so I can do whatever. And I feel like we need to find somewhere in the middle. So my thought going into this workout, it's not, can I do it? It's, should I do it? And so some of the things like toast bar can really exacerbate symptoms of diastasis recti, which can affect postpartum recovery. Double unders I don't think should be done after the first trimester, just because, you know, there's a 5-pound weight on my pelvic floor that wasn't there before. And so for me, that just wasn't worth it. And then when you're going into a squat clean, even as an Olympic weightlifter, there's a lot of pressure down on the pubic symphysis that can make recovery really challenging. And so I've seen a lot of CrossFitters after pregnancy, baby's totally healthy, but they've had a really hard time recovering and coming back after baby. And so my version was 25 ball slams with a 20-pound ball, a minute on the Aerodyne, and then I hit power cleans instead of full cleans. And so I got through the 85, 115, 145, and then I got to the 175 bar, and I just didn't think that it was worth putting that type of strain on my body, especially because I haven't been doing a lot. I'm a weightlifter. I do like ones, twos, and threes gas me out. So doing a bunch of heavy loading under fatigue wasn't exactly my smartest. So I got to the barbell, and then I just called it there. So super, super fun. My husband was even coming in my video. You could see him coming to make sure that I could talk test so that I wasn't putting too much exertion on me. So he's been really good to kind of keep me, because my CrossFitter, like I'm like the most competitive person in the entire world, and I have not been CrossFitting. I am not conditioned in any way. I'm 30 weeks pregnant. I'm still like, let's do this. And I have to like totally step back because it's just ridiculous to, one, even think that I would be good at this, and two, to try and go all out. And so, so that was kind of my version.
Cool. I think it's been cool over the weekend to just watch the different way that people have scaled this workout, especially for pregnant athletes. Different ways to still hit the midline and scale the double unders, different ways to still get that kind of minute of cardio. So cool. I think I saw Kristen jump on. Is that right, Kristen?
Hey, yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Kristen, will you introduce yourself? Another new face this week.
Yeah, I'm Kristen Carlin. I own my own practice, Evo Physio in Pittsburgh, and I do some behind-the-scenes stuff for ICE. This is my first CrossFit Open. I've been CrossFitting for about a year and a half, and this workout looks very scary to me, to be perfectly honest, because I do have 3 kids, and I have also suffered with diastasis, forefinger width on my last pregnancy, and my kid was almost 10 pounds. So I have been recovering from that over the last couple of years, and probably anything on the rig is challenging to me because being able to hold that hollow position is really tough, as I still have a abdominal hernia too. So I've always had to modify my hollow holds and my hollow rocks a little bit. And but I am improving my strength on the bar there. So there was no question I had to scale this workout just because of the toes to bar. But yeah, it went pretty well. I think my overall strength too is affected with having the hernia as well. I think there was no chance that I could lift that 135 weight, but I was really pleased with the 115. I got through all those reps. So yeah, I thought it went pretty well. And in terms of me and my modifications, I think I've just had to basically really work at transverse abdominis and I train the hollow holds and the hollow rocks a lot, even though I still have to modify them a little bit.
Okay, cool. Are you gonna redo it today, or are you one and done?
I am not, because really I had a lot of time left. It wasn't a timing issue. It was can I lift that 135-pound bar, and I don't think that's going to change between Friday and today. So I am not redoing.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. If you can't pick it up, you can't pick it up. You don't want to just stare at it for 5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. Thanks, Kristen.
I had plenty of time to lift it up, but it just wasn't going to happen this year, but that's okay.
Yeah. Jeff, let's throw it over to you.
Well, I mean, Alan, I'm going to throw it back to you. I mean, I guess I would love some recommendations on, sort of here I am. I mean, I'm on the fence, man. Like,
yet?
I can move both those.
Have you done it yet?
No,
Okay.
No, so I always do it Monday. Clancy hangs around after we coach the CrossFit Teens class. I help him coach that, and then he does that for me after on Monday. So, I mean, dude, I'm on the fence. I mean, I can move those weights, but it's gonna be a real battle. Do I try to battle through RX, or am I in a spot where I scale? I mean, I would love your insight, not just for me, but maybe for everybody who's listening, kind of in the same spot.
Yeah, I guess so. I'll talk through how I approached it. I looked at this workout and thought, I can probably get through at least the first round of toasted bar and double unders. Just it will be a struggle, just because my skill isn't there yet. I know I could clean the 135 bar, but I didn't know how much I would get through the second round and getting back, if I would be able to get back to the 185 bar. Versus I wanted to see how much I could do at the 185 bar, knowing that was above my 1 rep max. So I did this workout Friday night scaled. And I looked at the scale with the hanging knee raises and the single unders and the kind of the lighter bars at 95, 115, 135, and thought, this won't be challenging at all. And that was a huge mistake. Just getting through that first round and to the 95-pound bar, I thought, man, my legs are smoked already. And I like this workout because the fitter you are, the longer you have to work out during this workout. So you're actually punished for being in shape. You have to keep going. And there were so many times I'd look at the clock and think, shit, I'm going to clear this round and have to do another 4 minutes of exercise. And that kept happening over and over and over again. And so I ended up getting to the final bar of the scaled series, which was the 185, which was above my one rep. And I was able to do it 4 times. So I was happy with that. But yeah, I was so just wrecked after doing the scaled workout. I still think it was a great workout. I went home and laid on the couch and just my entire body cramped the rest of the night. I've been more sore after that workout than I have in a very long time. So I still think the scaled is a good workout. I'm going to redo it again today, RX, and just see how far I can get through it in the 8 minutes. See if I can at least get through the first round and back through as much of the second as I can. So that's how I approach it. I was happy I did. I don't think I would have been happy kind of fiddling around with toast to bar and double unders and being done in 8 minutes. I wanted to hit the pain train on Friday night, so I think I got there.
So, Alan, can you speak a bit to how that works? So, obviously, for some of us, like, I'm going to have to scale. If I hit muscle-ups or ring muscle-ups, that's a no-go for me. So there's movements I literally can't do. So how does that work as far as keeping your score in the open? How does that all tie together? Once you scale, are you kind of out, or is it still tracked, and how does that work?
You're not out. It's just in the back end of the game's database. I believe it's 1 to 300,000 RX to scaled reps. So you obviously get a lot more credit for doing RX reps, but that being said, I'm redoing it RX today for that reason. But I think if it takes you 8 minutes to get 25 toes to bar, you're not getting the right stimulus. If you're just going to put those RX points up on the scoreboard, you're in it for the wrong reason. I was happy with the workout I got on Friday night, even though it was scaled. So
Cool.
I think there's two facets to that, right? Because even if you get one toe to bar in 8 minutes, you rank above everyone who crushed and finished the workout scaled, right? So if you're really looking to compare this next year to next year to next year, and you want to know your RX ranking, like Sarah said, I could only do 30 single-footed double unders, but now she can look back and know that was like RX standard that year compared to RX standard this year. So I've been making the recommendation that athletes do both. Do RX, try your best, log that score, it's going to rank higher, and then you're going to feel fresh, knock out that scaled version, get the actual workout stimulus that should come from this workout.
I agree.
Alan, yep. Go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, that's what I told my athletes on Friday too, that this is like you've spent all year listening to our recommendations about what the stimulus for the workout is. And we will tell you, like, take weight off your bar. This looks horrible or whatever it is. But today's the day that you get to just go for it. Like I don't care if you do swing, 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 toe to bar. Usually I won't RX people in a workout unless they can link 3 in a row. Because I think that's bad technique and it's not good practice for them. Right. But today, do it and then come back, tomorrow and do the scaled version or whatever. So I agree with that. When I first started, there was no scaled division. So I have scores from, I think it was like 3 thrusters, 3 chest to bar, 6 thrusters, 6 chest to bar, that workout. I can't remember if that was 2012. And my score was 3 because I didn't have chest to bar and I worked for minutes trying to get chest to bar, but my score was 3. And then we redid it a few years later, and I was like, I PR'd by 100 reps or something. So that is kind of fun to have that comparison in the log, the CrossFit log.
So, Alan, I think going off all that,
13. Okay, yeah.
13. I think going off all of that, I'm probably going to send RX. Because I'm pretty sure I'm pretty comfortable with toes to bar. I can do 10s of double unders. I'll be comfortable at 135, and then I'll be able to do that again. Like my fitness probably won't get me. It'll be the break I have to take in the 135 cleans because I'll have to rest in between reps. So like that's going to eat up a lot of my clock. I'll be a lot better on the other stuff, and then I'm gonna get slapped in the face at 185. But I would love to see how many I can do into that 185 so I can look back on it. And I guess score-wise, it probably makes more sense. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll probably do a full send on RX, and then I'll get a little breather, and then I'll try to finish some version of the scale to get a full stimulus before I come home with the kids.
Right on. All right, let's finish it out with Mitch's thoughts.
I'll just speak to Friday Night Lights for me is I get to MC the whole night and get the mic in the hand and get all the heats going at our gym here, CrossFit Fenton, and so I get to watch a lot of our athletes. And I hate to brag, but our gym has a lot of really fit people. I'm super proud of like the number of fit people in our gym. And so what they're doing is that they're looking at this workout and saying, I can clean 225. So therefore, I'm going to get to the round of 225. And that's fundamentally not the case in this workout. They think because I can clean that weight, I should make it to that weight. And then that's where it's going to shake out for me because they're overlooking the 25 toe to bar and the 50 double unders. It's like having that week 3 opponent on your schedule for like basketball, the season, and you overlook these 2 opponents in week 1 and 2, and then all of a sudden you lose those games, and you're like, how did that happen? We had the rival coming up in week 3. Like that's like what happens in this workout for people. They're like 25 toe to bar, 50 dubs. I'm comfortable with those, and then all of a sudden the workout finishes, and they're like toes to bar and double unders, like they're just smoked from it. So round 1, everyone comes out like they are the state champion, and then round 2 hits them, and the look on everyone's faces is like, what happened to my toes to bar? Where have my double unders gone? So that's just fundamentally been the case. A lot of our athletes struggling to get through that 8-minute cap, round 1 and round 2, are redoing it with a much better strategy in mind today of like, hey, round 1, I can't come out the gate and do 15 and 10 on toes to bar, expect to go 50 double unders unbroken. I'm not Rich Froning, right? I should not pace in that manner. And then being very consistent with singles on the squat clean. 1, drop, 2, drop, and just chip away at that round of 15. Pacing in that round 1 a little bit better, going into round 2, not being so blown out from a metabolic, cardiorespiratory standpoint, and also from a grip standpoint, and being able to chunk away at round 2, putting them in a better position to have more reps on the bar at 185 and potentially clear that barbell. So I think for a lot of folks that's been an unpleasant surprise for them, but they're redoing and with that in mind. Myself personally, I feel very comfortable with high volume toes to bar. We practice that quite often, unbroken sets of 20 to 25 in our competition training. The 275 barbell was my goal. I wanted to get there. I've never made it there before when I've done this workout. So I cleared 225 with just 15, 20 seconds left to go under the 12-minute cap, and gave myself enough time, but I fell apart in round 4 on toes to bar. I mean, I had already taken my grips off because I didn't think I was going to get there. I was doing 2s and 3s and taking long gassers in between. So I gave myself enough time for one good attempt on 275, and the crowd was there, and thankfully was able to hit 275, and I was happy with that one rep. It was a cool moment for me personally, and then also just being able to watch everyone in the gym. So I don't think I'm going to redo today. I've been dealing with a stiff back all weekend as a result, so I think I'm going to play it smart here and not redo this one, and instead motivate and try to strategize with our athletes and help them get a little better performance in their second go at this. So that's what I got. A fun week too.
I'd love to chime in here really quick. My split time for the first round was like 120, and my split time for the second round after the dubs was like 620. So I could not agree more. So, and then I only have so much time to do 13 cleans. It's not going to happen. And it was toe to bar.
I think this one was, and this workout was so different from last one because the first week of the open was so like everybody could do row and do wall balls, and so it was really like an aerobic capacity workout. And then they like slapped you in the face with the skill stuff on the second, and like all of it, you could get into the aerobic capacity if you had a certain level of efficiency, but like especially for a lot of my female athletes, and not just females but male too, like grip for this too with the amount that it takes for double unders and toes to bar, and then trying to hold on to a heavy barbell, like ouchie.
And just like the whole time. It's a sprint. So good luck, Jeff.
So wrapping up here, what do we think we're going to see in 19.3? So we saw a nice combination of MGW here this week. What do we think we're going to see next week?
I think we're going to see some dumbbells again. That's my prediction.
Jeff, thoughts?
I just take it week by week, man. Just try to figure out what's coming at me.
Christina, what do you think we're going to see?
I think we're gonna have a gymnastics one in there too. So something like a handstand push up or a muscle up, bar muscle up, something like that. We might get off the rig and more into the gym, but that's
So
my
if you
guess.
remember in week 1, I was estimating heavy snatches in week 3. I thought heavy cleans in 2018. I thought heavy snatches in 2019. Will they do heavy cleans and heavy snatches in the same year? That's Jeff's worst nightmare. He really is praying that that come around. I don't know, but we've already seen dubs, wall ball, rowing, toes to bar. Like we're chipping off a bunch already that are staples in the open. Pull up, chest to bar is on the list. Maybe something like we saw last year where it was like pull ups and then it advanced to kind of like wing muscle ups or bar muscle ups. So we may see an advancement of gymnastics movement this year. I don't know. Dumbbell's a good call as well. We'll see.
Dave Castro, if you're listening, I would like to see.
Think we'll see a repeat music?
Burpees.
Oh.
All right, cool. Any closing thoughts before we wrap up here? Let you all get off to work and such.
Oh man, looking forward to it, and really looking forward to 19.4 in CrossFit Fenton. I mean, this is going to be a rowdy
The whole
session.
gang is going to be here. We're going to have to call a fire marshal.
You won't need any pre-workout.
Literally.
No pre-workout needed.
Come on, assault bike and shuttle runs.
How do you do it to me, Jeff?
All right.
The waddle run. That's what it'll be, the waddle run.
We'll wrap up here. We'll be back next Monday morning to recap 19.3. Thanks, everyone, for making time to jump on this morning. We'll see you guys later.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
All right, bye.
Yeah.
Bye.